Alrighty, back for episode 2, technically. Um, we're gonna try to keep this as unrehearsed and unscripted as possible. We don't have a game plan at all. We're just gonna chat today, which is fun. So, how's your guys' week been?
Carolyn, how about you go? Because before you got on, we were just like chatting away over
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yes, as I was putting on some comfy clothes because work attire is a no-go as soon as I get home.
Like
Yeah.
rip it off. Get
it's like
off me.
taking your bra off at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It's hoodie,
totally.
it's
Okay.
raining. Let me just be comfortable. But no, thankfully I've been on the road for the last 3 weeks in a row. And
Yeah.
finally this weekend I have no plans, just staying home. I watched a movie last night. That's a big deal.
What movie?
The Holiday.
Oh,
I love
I,
that movie.
I think I've maybe seen that once. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
It was so good. And just the lineup. I mean, you can't deny that. You have to watch it. And it's like Jack Black is in it. It's wonderful. It's such a cute little movie. And especially with the holidays. I've been wanting to decorate. I don't know if you guys have decorated yet. Amanda, your apartment is Halloween themed year round. So
it is. Seriously though. I have to show you this. I have to show you this. You're gonna die.
yes.
My apartment is themed, but I will put a Santa hat on my skeleton.
I love that.
It's the nightmare before Christmas. Also, did you know we have Friday the 13th in December? Hey, hey.
Yes. Isn't that I think it's the day that the weekend nationals.
Yeah,
Offending
Yeah.
nationals.
right.
Everyone
That's
competing is gonna be like
right. I
Watch
think
someone like trips on
and
stage and breaks an ankle.
oh my God, dude.
That
oh
would
no.
happen.
Oh, like someone's heel breaks or something. That'd be horrible.
Yeah. They're like break a leg.
Because I think isn't Friday like wellness and figure and stuff?
I think
I
so.
have
Because
no
we have
idea.
on Saturdays.
Oh God.
But Prague is this weekend.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm excited.
Did you guys buy the live stream?
we're going to. Yeah.
You're
I'm just
going
like
to?
fingers crossed it doesn't totally crash.
Do you have any,
Yeah, I was thinking about it. What, Carolyn?
what time is Classic gonna go then? Or Open, sorry. Open bodybuilding is gonna go.
Um,
That's the one thing. That's why I haven't bought the live stream because I don't know what time.
I just realized maybe like, do you think they're gonna limit the live stream? I would imagine.
Not for Chris.
Is it called
The
Mr.
money.
Universe?
Let's see, the Prague Pro Show.
Oh wait, it's right here. Prague Pro.
I like went to the website because we surprisingly have nothing going on this weekend either for once. So we're like, we looked at our schedule and Tyler's like, what do we have to do this weekend? And I was like, nothing. Like, there's nothing on the schedule. He's like, that's wrong. I'm like, no, we don't have to go anywhere. And he's like, okay, cool. We're gonna sit at home and be pieces of shit. So that's our
Okay.
plans.
Yeah, right. Okay, it says Saturday. Okay. Sorry, the pro men's open goes first, but what day?
I think it's Saturday.
I think it's Sunday because I think don't they in Europe, don't they do Saturdays the amateurs
Oh, me. Oh, right.
and then Sunday is pro? What in the hell? What was that? My dog, you guys, he's losing his mind. Sorry for the
Oh, don't
debt.
worry.
I'm not seeing it. Competitions, pro. Yeah, it's on Sunday.
Hmm.
So at
Yeah.
9:30 a.m. Sunday. I don't know what that means for us. Czech Republic.
2 a.m.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's
Um,
right. I just like threw that out there because we're like a couple times
oh,
behind them.
okay, let me see. Sorry to the 10 people who watch us. Okay.
Yeah, we got like double-digit videos on our first one, so that's pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the Czech Republic is 8 hours ahead of me.
So 7 ahead of me, 6 ahead of Carolyn.
Oh my God. So yeah, 2, you're right, 2 in the morning.
Lucky guess.
Okay, well,
Yeah, no.
Carolyn's like, fuck off.
I
We'll
was
see.
like, I'll just look up results online.
Well, if it was like Saturday night and then we could sleep in on Sunday, but if it's Sunday night, I have to get up for work, so.
Yeah.
And
Or would it technically be, if it's 9:30 a.m. Sunday, it would technically be like 2 a.m. Sunday. Or Saturday. Saturday to Sunday.
oh, you are right. I'm an idiot. Okay.
That means,
Well, but maybe we will. I'll talk to Dan. Dan, there's no way Dan's gonna make it. He gets really tired. Enzo?
I can barely make it 10 minutes into a movie, so I understand.
Yeah, so I might stay up for it. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be recaps and stuff.
Yeah. So, but no, that's exciting. And then Nationals is coming up, like you said. Um, do you guys have anybody competing Nationals this year?
No, I had a guy that was going to be competing in Texas in a few weeks, but we decided to postpone the show. He just needs more time to get in shape. He's dropped 60 pounds.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, so it's not like he's made incredible progress. It's just he just has probably another 20 pounds to go. And at like 4.5, 5 weeks out, we both were just kind of like, it's just the conditioning is not going to be there in time. We just need some more time. And he's had some life things come up too. So we're just going to kind of do like a little bit of a reverse and then prep him, continue the prep because he's made like insane progress. So I mean, where he's at now is like a perfect starting point for like a 16-week prep. So we'll start, some early next year, and then we've got the whole year of shows, and we can just prep until he's ready, and there's no stress of like this is the last show of the year
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I'm super proud of him. But I mean, he's going to be an open, so I mean, there's just no room for, yeah,
Absolutely not.
yeah. And he hasn't competed in years, and I was like, I know this isn't the package. We just need some more time, so we're going to take it.
Well, and especially at Nationals too, like if you're gonna compete there, like you wanna bring it.
Oh
You know?
no, not nationals, just like the show,
Oh,
a show in Texas the week before. Yeah, sorry.
okay.
He
Okay.
hasn't competed in years. So yeah, no, I think he's probably gonna be a light heavy. If he kind of falls where I think he's gonna fall. But yeah, no, we're gonna do a show, compete next year in the spring, and then go back to growing again. He was just before he just his body composition got a little too far with how things he was doing before. So we're just going to keep it in check this time and grow a lot leaner, which is a lot healthier for him anyway. And he feels good and he's doing great right now. He's in a great spot. He just needs some more time. So
Yeah. Do you guys think that like for off season that there is like a certain kind of like sweet spot where like you can gain like enough body fat but still maintain a relative like leanness to still grow and be responsive and stuff? And like is there a point where if you get too far over that, because some people do the whole like eat big, get big kind of thing, like, and then they just kind of blow it out of proportion, So like what are your guys' thoughts on that?
with my men, I'm a little bit more strict with them, with just because men don't need to carry as much body fat as we do percentage wise. They can maintain a leaner physique just because they're not supporting, the hormonal fluctuations of menstruation and ovulation and things like that. And amongst other reasons, like women just are supposed to carry a little bit more body fat. So I keep them tighter. I kind of take it as like a composition thing. So what I'm looking to see are lines in the legs, lines in the abs, not too much of like a roll on the back, kind of in the lower back area. They don't need to be like striated on their glutes or anything like that. That would be way too lean, but they need to have, and like if they've got like a little bit of a belly, that's too much. So I kind of want to see like tightness and lines everywhere. They should be pretty darn vascular too. So it's more so just like how they're looking, how they're feeling, but there's no need for a male to get to the point where he's got like no quad split at all, or just, you know what I mean? Like there's just no need for that. I think it's hard with my client now because the last time he competed, he got on stage in the 160s and he's a way bigger than he was. So it's like his stage weight now, I think if it's like 30, like 25 to 35 pounds above that stage weight, like peeled, I think that's probably a good place for his size. So I think for most dudes, that's probably like a pretty good spot. It might be a little bit more here, a little bit less. It just depends on kind of naturally if they're a little bit more on the heavy set side or naturally more on the lean side. But yeah, I mean, with men, especially just to keep their lipids in check and their triglycerides in check and the heart in a good, healthy spot, like they're a lot heavier. The heart is pumping blood to a lot more mass. So I really want to make sure that health is also at that forefront. If they just get too heavy for too long, it's not good for them either.
Nope, I agree.
Especially on their day-to-day energy levels, if they feel like they're slugging through the day or just dragging their feet and not feeling very energetic, there could be an insulin problem there too. And also if they're continuing to be dependent on caffeine, because we all have to make that cycle off of caffeine as soon as like we're done with prep, but if we're continuing to be reliant on it and just drinking it like water, then that's when we know we need to go cold turkey. We just need to cut it.
Need to pull it, just go through the shakes and the sweats.
For exhaustion, when I had to go cold turkey for the last gut protocol, it was the second day I could not get off the couch, and I was like, why do I feel terrible? And I'm like, well, I just cut out caffeine just yesterday.
Yeah.
And no coffee, not even tea, so it was just herbal tea. And that's rough. We've all had to go through that.
Yeah.
Caffeine detoxes, man.
Ugh. I feel like men too, like their digestion will go to shit pretty fast. Like when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
pushing food, when you've pushed them over that edge, it'll go from everything is great within a couple days. They are like a disaster. You know what I mean? Digestive wise. And they're really watery and their body it's like, there's like a little scale. And if you just tip it too far, it just goes,
It just goes,
woo.
whoop.
Yeah, totally. And that's when you know,
Yup.
like, okay, we gotta pull back a little bit. So luckily, not luckily, but with them, that tends to be the first thing to kind of go. And then there's some dudes that you can just push food really, really far and they feel great, but their blood sugar is not good. So that's why it's really good and also their blood pressure, like keeping an eye on making sure their blood pressure is in a healthy spot, like checking it, same time, same routine, a few different times throughout the day. Check it like 4 or 5 days in a row, just get like a general average to see where it's at. If blood pressure is pretty high, it's time to pull. Like there's just things you look at with them that with women are usually a lot less of a concern. For us, it's more so like hormones and thyroid, and most dudes, their thyroid's fine. You get the odd one, but in general, it's not as impacted in them. So it's just kind of keeping an eye on those other markers.
Yeah. I think for guys too, it's kind of more so just, it affects more of their cardiovascular system than anything when their stress levels go up, whether that's mental, physical, whatever. And for guys, it's usually more detrimental like during off season when you're really pushing stuff, when you're pushing food really hard, you're pushing drugs harder. Like that's when they start to kind of like go over the edge, with certain things and where their health kind of starts to decline. But that's why, like, and I do the same thing. I track blood pressure, glucose every single week, get a good baseline number. And then as we add stuff, like I have a whole chart, like a whole summary sheet that I just like add my notes into and each week so I can easily compare everything. So it makes it nice. But yeah, no, I think the same thing is like, especially guys, like they don't need to be like super lean all the time. And like, especially if they land on like more of like a endomorphic type body type where they're a little bit heavier just to begin with, they can probably be a little bit softer just because their body naturally sits there a little bit better versus like a dude that's like more ectomorphic, so but the ectomorphic is probably going to have to eat a shit ton more food because he's going to have a hard time gaining. So
yeah, the only hard part, the endos, is once their body starts to kind of get heavier, they can gain like 10 pounds in a week and a half.
oh yeah,
It's crazy. Like they can just go, it's crazy how responsive their bodies are, like in multiple directions. It's just, it can change really, really quick.
They just need like very small adjustments up or down, and it's crazy how they respond. Cause that's how Tyler is. Like after he finished his first cut, he like just increased his food right away, and he just like his weight like maintained for the first like 3-4 weeks, but he was also pretty depleted. And then like I think 1 week he had like a couple more things that were just off more than normal, and like he was up like 5 pounds, and he was like, whoa, like we gotta like cool the jets on that. And he's like
Yeah.
buying me cereal.
Right. Yeah. And the cool thing is like with dudes, once you kind of get to know their body a bit, there's things you can implement to kind of moderate that. Cause when you're in like a pretty intense push phase, like I'm not looking for blood sugar to be perfect the whole time. Like it's going to be high. Blood pressure is going to be a little high. I just want to see like the trend. If it's trending like every day, this is looking pretty rough and they're starting to feel rough. If they feel really good, I'm like, all right, we'll push it for a few weeks, then we're going to pull it back down. Because it's just the nature of bodybuilding. Like sometimes you just got to live in extremes a little bit, but it's just not ignoring it, but just understanding that like, okay, we're going to live here for a little bit and then knowing your body, like drive it back down for a few weeks. Um, and then you can implement like really low, like sometimes like a low day back to a couple low days back to back just to kind of draw it back a little bit and then push things. So it just depends on the person. Usually
Yeah.
the guys like that have to like force feed, they're grateful for the low days. Like, oh, thank God. And then their digestion step back up again. So yeah, men are fun. I enjoy like the manipulations and the, you know, different techniques you can implement with them just because you don't have to worry about nearly as much CNS like overload just because they're a little less like, you know, emotionally driven. Not all the time. There are some emotional dudes, but you don't have like the cortisol's not as impacted as women are. So it's just different levers.
Yeah, I do feel like there's a lot less external factors that can come into play because oftentimes like the little details may be missed with females, whether it's cycle related or sensitive to stress or sleep. Those are all impacted. At least with men, it's like they don't have to have a consistent day in their schedule, but if they're hitting their numbers, then it's like, okay, cool, we're still going to make progress no matter what the goal is. So it's a little bit easier for those manipulations. And like you said about responsiveness, say I cut 5 carbs from them, hey, they may lose like a pound or two in the next week just from doing that. So it's a little more responsive. But I always say like the other thing too, especially with men, is food quality. I can't get those damn Uncrustables away from those men. The damn Uncrustables. And getting those caffeine, you know, and lowering on that as well, because many of them do just drink those like water. And it also is going to impact their results as well, especially if your caffeine tolerance is so high. Then once you end up finally lowering it, then hey, we may end up seeing some movement because your body can finally relax.
100%.
I have, well, we have a couple guys now, but we have one who's like pretty serious in like about competing and stuff. And like he's been in a push phase now, and his blood pressure started to kind of go up a little bit with this push phase. And so we were like, and it's just his breathing is like his conditioning for training has not been the best. So we're like, hey, like you just have to do cardio right now. So that way you can get some kind of like cardiovascular built up. And that does help too with blood pressure and stuff like that. So I do implement some cardio. And it's, you know, just getting your heart rate up to like 120 at least. It's not even like leisurely walk, but just like 20 minutes. And that has seemed to help a lot too. So yeah, but women are way harder, way more difficult because it seems like every woman is completely different, even if they have the same like symptoms, side effects, whatever. Like they're all different. So
Yeah, they both, it's funny, like I know so many men, like male coaches that hate coaching men. And then, you know, the opposite, it's kind of like everyone just, you know, coaching men versus women, they're very, very different and they're very fun and exciting in their own ways because there's just, you know, different aspects to both of them. But it's funny how people tend to gravitate towards one or the other. You know, a lot of really high level female competitors are coached by men. And there are women too, but I feel like there's probably more male coaches, if anything.
yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like females tend to be either like they specialize in like bikini or like women's divisions, or they do a lot of like lifestyle clients, like moms that just want to be in shape or want a big booty or something like that, because women are so much more like, well, one, they're less intimidating, and two, like, I don't know, they just relate better. I can't relate because I have a male coach.
We
I
all
want a
do.
coach that's gonna tell me. Yeah, I mean, we all do. Yeah. I want a coach that's gonna tell me when I'm like sucking, and like my boyfriend also tells me when I'm like being a pussy in the gym, and like I'm just like, okay, like I gotta like step it up, because I want to be pushed. And that's, I think, all of us is like we want to be pushed. And I'm not here to have like a best friend. I'm here to just do my work and get better. So
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of, it's hard to know because I think there are like a lot of female coaches that toe that line really well, but a lot that don't too. And I
mhm.
think even for male coaches, like with their male clients, it's hard to not become friends because there's, so much you have in common. Because I've actually got a couple clients that are friends. And you just have to kind of like when you're in a coaching conversation, just try to separate the two. And I think that it can actually help as long as that level of respect is there, and trust. If that respect and trust are there for the roles that you're both in, it can work really well because I have a way better understanding of how that person thinks. If they're a good friend, right? So it's like, I know how this person's thinking right now. I can kind of coach them through this versus someone that you are not, maybe they don't give you as much, emotional feedback. So you're, because I mean, as coaches, you're trying to tailor what you do to the person in a sense of you want to communicate in a way that has impact and that they're, able to understand and it lands the way you want it to land, whatever it is you're trying to relay. And if you know someone really well, it's a lot easier to do. So that's one of the upsides to it, but I can see how it could get tricky for sure.
I've been in situations before where I've coached or helped um, friends that were friends prior to coaching, and that usually doesn't go well, just because, like, I know, like, myself, I get emotionally invested because I care a lot. And then, like, if they want to quit or something, I get emotionally like hurt by it, because I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? And that's something that I need to work on and been working on. But I've also, like, I do have clients that have become friends through coaching, and like I do the same thing. I separate, like, hey, this is like Coach Kayla talking to you right now, like, or if they ask, like, I'm like, do you want friend Kayla to give you the suggestion or Coach Kayla? Because there's two different ones, two different ways to go about that. So I just try to make myself clear in that, like, and then just like channels of communication too, just so that I don't take something out of context of like, hey, if it's like a coaching question, like message me through the app. But if it's like a friend thing where you just like need to vent or something, like send it me a text message or something like that. So that's kind of how I've navigated it. But if I have like friends or family that like want me to coach them now, I'd kind of like, like, I think you would probably work well with so and so. Like, let me give you their info, because I don't want them across that line, and I don't want to, want friends either to look at me when I'm like when we're out or something and be like, oh, is Kayla judging me right now because I'm having pizza? Like, that kind of thing. So, dude, get down.
I know he's like popping in and out of the blur.
I
Like
know. And
it's
he's
like
just like running around back and forth, and it's like he's rooting around, being a little nuisance.
silly baby. To be honest, I feel like I'm trying to think like I have a couple of friends that I could definitely coach. Any family member, I'd be like, no, there's just no.
Mhm.
I just don't think it would work. Not because I don't like them or anything like that. Just knowing
Yeah.
my family's communication style, I'm just like, no, it wouldn't go super well. But yeah, I think that can definitely get tricky. I have one of my bikini girls has become like a really good friend and I care about her deeply. Um, and we like, we double date sometimes and we'll do fun stuff. And sometimes she's like, oh, and she knows I'm like, dude, when we're out, like we're friends. Like this is not, if we're hanging out like me and Dan and her man, like I'm not here in a coaching capacity at all. And I'm not here to judge. Like if there's something that happened, like that you ate or whatever, we'll talk about it in your check-in. Like I'm really big on keeping that separate because that's
Yep.
just not why we're there. Like I'm not there to sit there and critique what she's doing in her free time, and that's social free time. And
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
I'm also like, if you're in your off season, like gotta live your life sometime. So I'm
Yep.
not too
Exactly.
good about it.
Hmm.
Oh my God, you guys, this week, I swear, I know we're talking about it before, but I mean, I don't know. It's just like I feel so mentally drained. I don't know about you guys.
I
Oh
think
no.
this year has just been a long, like,
Carolyn?
a good year, but a long year. We were talking about this before we got on here, but I mean, just like personal life stuff and just lots of changes, but like positive changes and stuff, which is good, but it's just a lot of personal growth, and same thing for you guys, I'm sure too. Like lots of like Amanda, you guys moved, Carolyn, you moved, I moved, we all moved this year. So
Let's just move every year. It's so fun.
no,
Did it
No,
last
no,
after
no.
this year, no.
hell no.
Ooh,
Yeah.
hold on.
No,
Get
this
out. Get
year.
out. Now they're trying to play right behind me. I'm like,
Oh,
You're like,
the,
guys,
en-
stop.
the entire apartment. Like, why do you have to play right here?
Oh, I have something kind of exciting.
Ooh,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like that exciting, but just a little bit. Sorry, I'm like molting or something. I talked to Cameron and my check-in with him on Monday, and tentatively we're thinking about doing Universe next summer. And it's funny, that was the first show he picked because I've always wanted to do that show.
really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I've always wanted, it just never like lined up with what I was doing, but I've always wanted to do that show. I don't know, I've just always had this like thing about like Universe. I couldn't tell you why. I've just always been like, I feel like it's gonna be really fun. I love the East Coast, so it'll
Yeah.
be fun to go out there and probably somewhere like 2 to 4 weeks before I'll qualify. I'm gonna fly out of state to qualify though. I'm not gonna do it here. I love Colorado NPC scene, but it'll just take a little bit of the pressure off me to be nowhere where anyone knows, or somewhere where no one knows me.
That's what I did.
I
Yeah,
love
because like
Mhm.
the hard
go to
thing is I
Florida.
feel do what?
Go to Florida. That's what I did.
I did that too.
Yeah.
It's just really far. Like I don't want to be on like because I was thinking like maybe Dallas or Texas, like because it's a really fast flight.
Yep.
But Cameron also brought up Florida would be good, like East Coast judges.
Like the
Because
clash.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So I just want to do like I don't want to do like a ginormously hard big show. Like I just want to, because like Universe, of course, is going to be ginormous and big. I don't want to get in my own head. I just want to
Right.
qualify and just be neutral on it and just go somewhere. No one knows who I am. It's just me and Dan, and I can just go in and do my thing and um hopefully, of course, like get the qualification and then go into Universe. But my whole community here is amazing and I love everybody. I think it's just when you have like a big group of people like out there watching you, you're like, don't shit the bed in front of everyone.
It's so nerve-wracking. Oh my God.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know. And
I
like
get
thank God
that.
it worked out last year. Like that was because like
Mhm.
my boss came and watched, which was so nice. Like him and his wife came down. My dad
Wow.
and stepmom flew out, my clients. I was like, oh my God,
I mean, that's how I felt
please
for like
don't
my
lose.
my pro debut when everybody flew out there and stuff. And then I got fucking like last call outs. I was like, sorry guys, not that like anyone cares or anything like that, but like
That's the thing.
you have that pressure on yourself.
Oh, I know. Like, I just wanted, like, we were just stoked to be there to support you. Like, we didn't care. And I know that no one cares, but I
Yeah.
think it's not, I don't feel like I would disappoint people. Like, I don't think anyone's that invested in my competition. They just want to be there to be supportive because they're amazing people. I just honestly, it's like if you don't get the placing you want, and then afterwards everyone's like, it's okay. And I'm like, I
And you're like, I
know,
know, but it's not.
Like
I know,
everything's
you're like, I
fine.
know, but I just need to go like crawl in a hole right now. Okay. Like, just let
Yeah,
me, I
yeah.
always joke, I'm like, let me lose in peace. That's not the goal, of course, but you never know how it's going to shake out. So anyway, I just want to go in, no pressure. And then, cause even my dad was like, we're going to fly out to your national. I was like, no, you're not. I don't want, I literally, I'm just like, it's in,
No.
Universe is in New Jersey, so if that shakes out, you know, I don't know anyone out there. So I was like,
Universe is like end of June,
it's
It's
the
such
first week of July.
first week of July. Okay, I knew it was in between Junior Nats and USA's.
it's
So,
actually a lot of fun. It's such a great show. So you're gonna have a blast, and you can be at the hotels and literally 4 minutes from your bed to backstage.
That's
And you
amazing.
have to be at the host hotel. There's plenty of options in the area. And a lot of people, used to say Universe was their least favorite show, but after attending, it was my favorite because everyone is so kind. Yes, it can be very long days because you have masters and amateur going at the same time. But the judges are great. They're all willing to hang out. And then also, you're only like 30 minutes from New York City. So we went out to dinner
oh,
after the
cool.
show in New York City, in Brooklyn. Like
Oh,
that
wow. I didn't realize it was so close. That's
that
awesome.
close. And especially, I mean, they do have the train. So a lot of people, if they're from the Virginia, DC area, they will take the train up to New York City because it's only 2.5 hours. I just flew and you're literally up and down immediately there. For local shows, I always say, yeah, don't tell anyone what show you're doing. Just sign up when you're ready. But if you know you're going to do the national show, then yeah, plan for Universe because
Yeah.
it's fun. It's such a great show.
Well, plus it's and I haven't fully decided how I'm going to do this and if I'm going to do this or not, but there's open and masters. And guys, I'm a masters now.
No, no way.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
I am an old hag. No, I'm
Absolutely.
just kidding. So Cameron was like, you know, because I told him, I was like, I don't want to sound like, I don't want this to sound bad. I would, if I'm even within range of a pro card, you know, it feels stupid even saying that. Like I feel so unworthy all the time. But let's just say I have maybe a shot at it. I would feel better if I got it in open. And the thing is, like Bikini Masters 35 and up is fucking competitive. Like, if any, it's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
it's really not any easier. Like,
No.
it's the masters class. I mean, these ladies are incredible. So it's not that I think it's easier. It's not. I just, for my own, you know, I would like to go up against all the little young girls and, you know, be competitive there. So he was like, hey, just, you have both as an option. You can decide that when it gets closer if you want to compete in both. And you know, go from there. Cause then there's Universe and of course USA's and then North Americans. And there's like Masters, there's a lot of shows from that point on. The only shows before that are Junior Nats and Junior USA's, which I don't have a desire to do Junior Nationals again, just because it was such a pain in the ass to get there.
Yeah,
Um,
because Chattanooga was tough. Like I liked it, but like we both ended up flying into Georgia and then we had to drive fucking 2 hours and
it's
that's a nightmare.
like
Remember that?
waiting, remember, like I had to wait 3 hours for my rental car.
So did we, because then we got there
Starting.
like slightly after you, and
Uh,
like both of us were back and forth the whole day. We were like, we haven't had coffee yet. We've been up since like 4 a.m. We have no coffee. Can't find a fucking Starbucks anywhere.
I
There's
was
no
not
rental
good.
cars.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not good. I
I
because
wish
like
I was
all I had were like rice cakes and protein powder. Like it, yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, you can fly into Chattanooga. It was just like another grand,
Yeah, it was expensive.
right? So
yeah.
like international is like the show itself was great. Like I loved
Yeah.
the show. It was just getting there and back. I was like, eh.
Mhm.
Don't want to do that again. And but the first show Cameron said was Universe. And it was funny he said that because I was like, that's the show I want to do. I've always
That's
wanted to do it. So I was like, exciting.
awesome.
So that is like the show that I would do before. I think that's like 28 weeks from yeah, I know, which sounds like for everyone that's like not a competitor, they're gonna be like, that's like more than 6 months. But in bodybuilding terms, that's because I started my last prep at 24 weeks out.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
that's like, granted, I don't have to lose 35 pounds this time, thank God. But so yeah.
Hopefully none of us have to do a 20+ week prep again because I definitely don't want to do that again. That was horrible.
I won't do
No,
20.
not to the first show. Like maybe if you're doing like multiple shows, like maybe the totality of it.
Yes.
But yeah, I was like, hell no, like I need to do a diet phase before and get some of this down with a little bit of a more flexible approach, and then prep from hell can start at like 16, 18 weeks out. Like, yeah, never
Manageable.
end. You live and learn. But
Okay.
so yeah, that doesn't seem like super insanely far out from now. So I'm like, ah.
Getting closer. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's like on the horizon. It's like, no, prep is gonna start like
10 weeks.
end of February, early March
Mm-hmm.
at the latest. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, February. I mean, that's around 10 weeks from now.
You hear that, glutes? Get it together.
Carolyn, how about you? You have anything on the horizon yet? I mean, I know you're just getting done with like your gut phase and stuff, but just gonna grow and just wait for Cam to make a call.
Yeah, so I've been done with it. We've been waiting for the call to get on Matt's schedule. So I'll have the call with him on, let's see, how many more days? Let's see, 8 in like 10 days or so. And then we'll get the game plan from him. And that's the thing too, is that like he didn't want to make any changes. And same with Nick, he didn't want to make any changes until he heard back from what Matt wants to do. So I'm kind of like in this waiting limbo right now. I feel like I've been in limbo this entire year, so nothing new there. But it's pretty aggravating because I haven't felt like an athlete in a really long time. So I'm looking forward to Tupperware. That is what I'm looking for. I just would rather, get through the holidays, be a normal person through those events, but at the same time, really would like to get back to feeling like a bodybuilder again because the whole health phase, it was so long. I don't even remember when I started it. It feels like it's been all year.
I feel like you
Yeah.
kind of needed it though.
Huh?
I feel like you kind of needed it though.
Eh,
Maybe not a whole year, but I think you just needed like a mental like break from.
From dieting and prep because
Yeah.
like you were prepping for what like 10 months again and then like it didn't work out, and it just I think like a mental break was definitely needed.
Yeah, for background for anyone who doesn't know, like the first prep was 10 months long and then did 2 shows, went into reverse and then did another gut health protocol and then went into a prep, failed prep, and then that was from like around November, October, November timeframe of last year, and then ended prep in March. And
Didn't you
then
start like the day before Thanksgiving?
yeah, it was the
Yeah, it was right before Thanksgiving
I
yeah.
remember being like, what?
because he was
So
just like,
we're
we're gonna
like,
start prep.
and I was like, I get to enjoy Thanksgiving, right? And he was like, yeah, no, you can enjoy Thanksgiving, but we start prep. And I was like, that's not enjoying Thanksgiving though.
Yeah, you're like, what?
You're sitting there second guessing as your like mashed potatoes are going to your mouth like, should I actually be eating
I don't
this?
know. I blacked out. I can't remember what happened on Thanksgiving.
The best way to handle Thanksgiving is blacking out.
Like, am I? Yeah.
Maybe we
Oh, that's
have
great.
maybe we did. I can't remember. This whole year is just like, I'm just ready for it to be over.
But it's okay. I mean, the time off is definitely needed and stuff. And like you'll thank yourself later for it too. Like, I never can like stress enough to people like take the time off. Like don't try to push it. Don't try to rush things. Like I've seen a lot of clients, even myself too, have like tried to like push things too much and like tried to prep too early and just because I'm just like ready to go and stuff and just eager and excited. But like more time is not a bad thing. It just means you have more time to make progress. So, even if it's like not planned, like in Carolyn's case, like you just had to take care of some gut issues and health stuff, and that's okay. And, sometimes not having a plan is the best plan to have.
I don't, ask me later. I don't feel like that right now.
She's like, I am so over it right now.
She's like, yeah, I just want to be done with this.
I
Yeah.
know. I feel
I just
ya.
want to get
No.
to a proper growth season so then I can really make improvements because man, the worst thing that you can do is look back on past check-in photos, like where I was a year ago and then where I am now. I'm just so dissatisfied that it's like I had to just trash all of them. I just had to delete them off my phone because it was just not doing me any good.
Yeah. No, it's hard to not do that compare game. It's so hard not to do it because you're like, looking for like, okay, is my glute a little bit bigger or my shoulders a little bit rounder? Like at this, when I was this exact same weight, like 2 years ago. And then you just have to be like, stop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're not gonna see it until you get leaner.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's like even body fat distribution can shift a little bit over time. And it's
Yeah.
like, I just gotta, if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, if I'm doing everything Cameron is telling me to do, that's all I need to do. Like nothing, I just need to stop being in my head. He can be the in the head thing. That's his job. Just like for our own clients, you know, I'm like, don't worry. My job is to worry for you. And that's why I let Cameron worry about it. And if we diet down more and he's like, your glutes aren't big enough, then I'm going to be like, okay, that sucks, but okay. Like, I don't want to, I would rather know than get up there and be like, why did I do all this? Like, why did I even prep again? I wasn't ready. So, I mean, I get it, dude. It's just like the comparison game is just, it can really rob you of like any enjoyment of the process at all.
Yeah. Because that's the one thing too, is that you're gonna be thinking about that and not enjoying the moment the entire time. I mean, that's, partially why, like, not only work related, but then also why I didn't want to go to the Olympia this year. Because I was like, I'm not in that headspace right now. Like
Yeah,
the
I
Olympia
get
would be
it.
so much fun, but like being in that environment would just ruin me. So that's why I was like, yeah, okay, maybe this is not the year to go. And then next year I know I'll be in a better headspace for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And that's total, like, that's totally good to do. You know what I mean? It's just, I can really, there are some times like going to those shows when you're like around all the shredded tan people, you're like, not making me feel great about myself right now. Like, and it's like, you can feel really, have like a really good day. You're like, all right, I like feel pretty good in this off season. And then you're just around a bunch of like shredded pros and you're like, never mind.
Yeah, because we have the Ben Wielder here on Saturday. So that's where, all the pros are going to be in on Friday. Yeah. So tomorrow the pros are competing. And then of course our gym is the one that is used as the guest pass. So you're just around shredded people all week and you're like, hi.
Like, I'm gonna go train over here. I'm gonna go train over here. I'm gonna wear full
Like I'm
sweats.
over here
And
training glutes and then I see glutes and I'm like, okay, back to work.
dude, when I walked by, like at the Olympia, when they did the meet the athletes, all the bikini pros, like they're just standing there and their glutes are just like
Well,
a fucking shelf. I'm like, I literally walked by, I go, I'm so fucked. And it's like, man, and like I've seen pros where they're not like that. But I mean, you're looking at the top, 50, 60 ladies in the freaking world. So of course it's like, I'm not like, oh, I need glutes like an Olympian right now. But you're just like looking at what the goal is to be worthy of a pro card. And that's the standard. And you're just
like, whew, I got a
like,
long way to go.
yeah, I know. You're just like, man, I'm doing all the things and my glutes don't look like that. But it's just more time. It's just gotta take more time.
I mean, I definitely feel like that and like I have done 2 pro shows and like some of those girls are fucking huge. Cause
Oh,
especially in figure, cause like once you turn pro, there's no height classes anymore. And like here's
Yeah.
little 4'9", 107 pound Kayla coming in and like I'm here to compete with the pros, and
Yeah.
so this off season for me has been very much like I need to add size and I'm not getting on stage until it's first call out worthy. And I'm letting Luke decide that and I trust him and he will make the call. So I'm just doing what he tells me to do until then.
yep. I know your situation's funny because it's so hard to compare you to anyone else because your height difference is
Mhm.
it's like, trying to play Sean Clarito in the open. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like which he's about to do. And it's his proportions, muscularity, like everything is so incredible, but it's just like the comparison, it's so hard to do because it's two completely different physiques.
Mhm.
Um, so and I mean, I guess that's a good thing for you is like there's not a lot of 4'9" girls, ladies in figure. So you don't have to be like, well, she's my height and weighs this much. Does that mean I'm not big enough? Like no one's really your height. So you're your own world.
Yeah, like even the girls like there's quite a few that are around like the 5 foot tall, but that's still like 3 inches on me, which is a
Yeah,
lot when you're this
for
small.
sure.
So like, I'm kind of just, so like my last stage weight, like my lowest was like 107, 108-ish. And so the next time I'm on stage, like I want to be like 115. Like that's the weight I have to be at and be shredded. So we got a lot of work to do. So, you know, it's just is what it is. But we'll get there. And like I am really, really happy with my progress so far. This like I've only been working with Luke since March, like right after the Arnold. And like I've made like really good progress. And I'm really, really learning like what off season like a pro is like. So I'm taking it seriously like that now. Like I feel like every time you level up too, it's kind of like you get a little reality check of like, oh, I need to be better. Oh, I need to be better. Like when I went from amateur to trying to get my pro card, like I just really wanted my pro card. And then I was like, well, I gotta start acting like a pro and then like taking it more seriously and stuff. And then, this is the most strict I've been in my off season where I'm not having a free meal every single week anymore. I really just don't have free meals very often. And if like we go out to eat, I gotta find something that's like just a steak and that's it. And it's just is what it is and I don't complain about it. So it's just that's like the difference, at least for me anyways. But um no, I'm just really excited, really happy about it. I'm in a mini cut right now, so we want to get down a little bit more and see just how things are shaping up and just to help keep me like leaner. So we kind of pull down and then we start pushing food back up and then we'll pull down. But he said we need at least one more push phase and then we'll kind of see where I'm at after that. And I think he's going to change some stuff around this time, which is going to be interesting. So I'm excited for it. But
I'm
I just
excited for
want
you.
to, what's
Huh?
that?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm really excited for you too. And I feel like, especially with figure, because of how much density you guys have, until you start getting like within, like 8 weeks out or so, it's so hard to really see all those improvements until you get like start to get really lean again. And that's when you can like, okay, I can really see it now. Whereas like, I feel like when I'm in off season, I'm like, I feel like I've added more, like I think I have, but then it's all covered. So I'm like, is it just more body fat? I don't
It's
know.
hard to tell.
I
It's
know.
hard to tell.
I think like because you get in your own head, and like if I'm looking at a client, I can totally tell if it's body fat or tissue. But when it comes to myself, I cannot like the objectiveness just goes woo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like that's why like that's why we all need coaches. It's you're just not looking at yourself objectively, and I'm actually looking for all the things wrong. And I'm looking to validate that I'm not ready. And yeah, because I'm always so critical of where I'm at. And yeah, so
We are
it's just,
our own worst critics.
yeah, I know, but it's okay. It's better. I would rather that than thinking you're like all like hot shit. And then you get up there and you're like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Nice little humble pie. But
yeah,
it's
exactly.
hard because like we have to one, like be our own worst critics and say like we're not good enough, but yet still believe in ourselves and be like, I am worthy of that and like I can do it. And like that is something like I've had to figure out this off season now coming into like going like my second season, if you want to call it that, as like a pro is like, okay, I've done it, I've been there. I realized I wasn't super confident going into that, but like I have to find some kind of confidence now that like I can do it because it's a weird thing, but like you have to have that belief in yourself too, and we can't all because I've seen it where oh like I'm just not good enough and like girls go through all this prep and the whole time they're just so worried and so anxious about like I'm not going to be good enough. Then it's like then why are you doing it? You know?
Yeah. There's like definitely, you don't want to go too far in either
Yeah.
direction where you're just like way overinflated or to the point where you're so deflated that you can't even present your best because your confidence is just shit. And we all know how important that is on stage. Like
Mm-hmm.
how you present yourself is so important. And also like having that shitty mindset through your entire prep, like your body is going to start reflecting it. Like it's just
Yep.
the stress is going to catch up with you. So that's why like just finding that right balance of trying to see yourself as objectively as possible and having that trust in your coach to know that when they give you the feedback, like they're giving you their genuine, authentic feedback and to just take that and that opinion and just not run with your own. And
Yeah, it's
if
so hard.
like,
We see each other, we see ourselves every single day. And at least our coach is able to have that separation of objective mindset. One, because obviously they're not in your body, but we see ourselves every single day. So we're going to be the most judgmental versus them. They're hired so that they can see where your current state is and where you need to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why, like, we all have coaches now. I mean, even sometimes before, like Carolyn, when you were with James, but if we're not ready, they're going to tell us.
Oh yeah.
Like, not one of our coaches would let us get on stage if we were not 100% where they would like us to be. They would rather tell us, like, we need more time, we need this, that, and the other. Like Cameron would never let Carolyn and I get on stage, like, not ready, like, because he's got to put his name on it too. So that's like, I have a lot of, that's where I have like a lot of trust with him, is I know he's going to tell me like it is, because he's looking at my bodybuilding journey, career, whatever you want to call it, for the long term. And he knows that I was like, dude, like, if you think I don't have a shot at this, I'm not doing this to get experience. I've done 2 national shows. I don't need experience with that. I want to get up there when you think I could be a contender. Like, that's the only reason to get up there. Otherwise, I don't want it. And he totally gets that. So
Mhm.
thank God.
That's why we have good coaches. But,
Yeah.
well, I hate to cut this short, but I gotta get off. I'm late for a posing session now.
Oh no, you're totally
I
good,
didn't
dude.
realize it was already after 6:30, but, we can chat. We're on 2 weeks after this. Now we're back on schedule, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And
All
hopefully
right.
have surprise guest.
Hey,
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. I love you. Good
guys.
chat.